Before we get started, just open up to any questions, anything that is slowing you down, stopping you from buying real estate, or something that's in your way from closing on a deal. Feel free to drop it in the chat or unmute your mic. Just ask the question real quick. And if I don't see any questions in like the next 10 seconds, I'm going to start yelling into the mic. So stand by. Brett, you ready?
Hell yeah.
All right, let me hit record. Welcome back to Buy Real Estate to Cashflow and Get Rich. My name is Walter Morello, and Brett Reed is a real estate investor who has been teaching you for the last few months how to buy real estate to cashflow and get rich. Now, he's not just a real estate investor, he's also a broker. So he knows what he's doing when it comes to real estate on the legal side as well. He's got his license, and he helps a lot of people buy real estate to cashflow and get rich. The reason we focus on buying real estate is because we're on a mission of millions, right? We're building 100 millionaires. And the only way to do that really as an agent is to go and help people buy more real estate. Brett likes real estate. He owns real estate. And if I were to make a suggestion to anybody who is currently listening, you should buy real estate too. Hands to camp, if you know you want to own more this year, at least buy one building, one cash flow property at least. Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. Brett Reed, without further ado, they're all yours.
Awesome. Thank you, Walter. Your intro is way more oomph than mine when I do it. So that's always appreciated. So this week we're going to talk about delegating our tasks when we get to a certain point in our business. Obviously in the beginning, it makes sense to do a lot of stuff yourself, and there's a lot of value in doing certain things yourself. So you learn what goes into, how much time it takes, and you can appreciate it when somebody else is doing it for you. So today, in a little bit, we're going to have RV jump on. We're going to have him talk about his business. And the reason why I wanted to have RV jump in is because he's been helping me get some leads. Previously, I had, since right before the beginning of 2021, I was making a ton of cold calls, and I got to the point where the deals and the leads started flowing, and I couldn't do both well. I couldn't follow up and generate my own leads. I couldn't do both well. I could do both, but I wasn't going to be consistent with both. So I had to find a solution. So I'm going to talk about a few things that I did to take some of that stuff off my plate. And I have an appointment tomorrow with a motivated seller because of somebody on RV's team who helped me get that lead. So I feel like a lot of the times the topics end up being what's going on in my business, and that's where I can share the most value, and so everybody can kind of see what goes into the everyday and how other investors think and what we're doing, how we're making adjustments to get to the next level. So I talked about it a little bit last week. I'm going to elaborate now. So starting in like early June, we bought a 7-unit in Pawtucket, and we had 3 vacants. Yeah, names on deeds, Walter. We had 3 vacants when we bought the property. Then as soon as we bought the property, somebody, this person's coming back now, which is huge, but somebody was scared that we were going to jack up the rent, and so they started looking for another apartment. So then we had 4 vacants. So now we're more than 50% vacant when we bought the property. And luckily we're not in the cash flow isn't super tight, so we could absorb it. So I had to rehab 4 units. Then I moved. I bought my personal home. I bought a new house, closed on the 30th of last month, and we wanted to put some work into the old house to get it ready to sell so we could get the most for it. So doing that too. And then right in the middle, I went on vacation. So all those things combined, I was just, what I said last week was I thought I was invincible. I'm not invincible. Nobody is. Everybody has a line. I found mine. And the reason why I'm explaining is that is because we need to, as real estate investors, we need to delegate certain tasks so that we can make sure that every part of our business is running smoothly, effectively, and we can maintain our reputation because we're doing everything on a quality level. So another quick lesson, and then I'm going to let RV take over and talk about his business, is along the lines of delegation. When I first started working with Terry Wager, a very valuable member in our group, I hired him as a coach, and he stopped me at one point. We were in the middle of a coaching call, and he said, or I said to him, I said, nobody's going to work for free, because we were talking about delegating. We were talking about delegating tasks. And I said, nobody's going to work for free. And he said, pump the brakes. What are you talking about? So I said, nobody's going to work for free. Why would anybody work for free? That's insane. And he immediately corrected me, and he said, you need to rethink the way you're approaching that concept. And he said, do you have something of value to add to people? And I said, sure. Yeah, there's plenty of people that are new investors, new agents that I have certain knowledge that I could pass along. He said, if you were them, would you work for free for you to get that knowledge? And I said, yeah, I guess you're right. And that mindset shift immediately, literally, people started calling me and said, I want to help you out if you can show me the way you do things. So very valuable lesson from Terry. A book recommendation on the delegation topic. There's a lot more in it, but the E-Myth, Michael Gerber, he talks a lot about working on your business, not in your business. If you're working in your business, you're not working on your business. And as a business owner, you need to be working on your business more than you're working in it. So that's your book recommendation. Remember that lesson from Terry. And RV. So I got introduced to RV from Kevin Pereira. If you don't know Kevin Pereira, you should reach out. He's had a lot of success working with RV. And he basically said, what are you doing? Why aren't you working with RV? He's got a great team. And like I said earlier, I have an appointment tomorrow, among others, with the Motivated Seller. So RV, if you could give us an idea of what you do, what your business is like, how it works, how much it costs, stuff like that. I think a lot of people in our community would find a lot of value in working with you.
For sure. Well, thanks for inviting me here. Again, Walter and Brett, I'm very excited and happy to hear what's currently happening in our campaign with you. Basically, yeah, my name is Arvely with One Virtual Desk. We provide virtual assistance to real estate investors, realtors, and business owners or entrepreneurs in the US. US and Canada. The goal is to help these business owners double up their business and focus on what they do best while providing rockstar virtual assistance. So delegating is actually the key, right? We need to double up our business. How are we going to do that? We really have to understand what's taking much of our time. We really have to understand what are the things that we do we think we are best, right? We have to focus on that. And having a virtual or a remote team from one virtual desk can actually help you scale up your business. We hire VAs who are trained in the real estate industry, not only with cold callings. We have VAs who can actually pull lists, those specific niche lists from PropStream, Skip Trace that, plug in to the dialer. We have VAs who can run comps. We have VAs who can actually handle social media and actually manage your online presence. Um, the core of the company are its people. So basically, communication is very important to us. What we do, we always make sure that our clients actually get what they expect, and we provide additional trainings to their VAs as well in order for them to be successful. If you will book a consultation with us, what's actually happening is we would ask you what your goals are in your business. Where do you see yourself in, I would say, a year from now, 2 years from now? and what are the things that you would like to delegate to your future VA. After that, the next stage is that we'll send profiles that match, your requirements, and you have the option to choose one or two VA, wherein you have the opportunity to interview them during the meet and greet. And the third phase is the kickoff call, wherein you will start delegating tasks to your VA. You will have the opportunity to do check-in calls every week, bi-weekly, or once a month, and we help you in the KPIs. So basically, at the end of the week, you will be able to see your numbers. You'll be able to understand which list are performing well. You'll be able to understand which campaign are performing well, and based on those KPIs, you'll be able to focus your funds, your resources, your time in the campaign that's working the best. So basically, that's what we do. Communication is the key. So we make sure that the VA will be assigned to a client success coach that will be monitoring your VA at the same time helping your VA become successful. And that's what Brett's experiencing now.
Awesome. And Harvey, a question for you, I think would be valuable to everybody listening. What are the standard rates if somebody on the call wants to hire your company? What are we looking at for fees?
Sure. We're looking at $4.5 an hour. That's the startup rate.
Okay, awesome. I think that's probably, I mean, depending on what state you're in, that's like half or a third of minimum wage. So very affordable. And so just to elaborate a little bit on my experience with RVI, the VA concept, it has obviously is prevalent in the real estate world, especially with investors. So I've heard about it on Bigger Pockets and other trainings this is something that people do. And I signed up with, since I had heard of it, somebody basically, I don't know if they cold called me or cold messaged me on Facebook, something like that. And I signed up with the company, and the communication was absolutely atrocious. And it kind of turned me off to it. So I was very fortunate to be, connected with RV through Kevin Pereira, and the communication has just been outstanding. Even today, the VA that we hired asked me a few questions about how we want to approach a script and how we want to approach different scenarios, and that's the important part. If you don't in anything really, if you don't have good communication, I had a baseball coach that I wasn't a huge fan, but he always had these really good one-liners, and he said the greatest cause for war and divorce is lack of communication. So if in anything you do, communication is key, and I've definitely gotten that so far from Marvy, and very appreciative to have him on the team. So if you're looking for a VA, if you need to delegate some tasks, I would definitely recommend connecting with RV. And RV, if you could put your contact info in the chat, just so that we can get in touch with you. And then for the people that aren't on the call, because we're live on a few different platforms too, if you have like a URL or an email, if you could just let everybody know so that we can get in touch with you.
Awesome. Yeah, sure, we'll do that. Thank you.
And this is a little bit of a selfish question, but to elaborate on your services, it goes beyond cold calling, right? So
Yes.
admin tasks, stuff like that. So can you give us an idea of what services VAs offer? If I mean, perhaps it's endless, but give us an idea what most of your VAs are doing.
Sure. Well, we start with the administrative tasks. We have VA who are actually doing transaction coordination tasks, making sure that your calendar is up to date, paperworks are all updated, and your files, basic organization, basic calendar management, making sure that you're on top of your appointments. We have the general virtual assistant slash ISA, an inside sales agent, who will be dialing your campaigns, your leads, buyers or seller leads, and work at the back end as well to maintain your CRM. Basically, making sure that lead management, leads will be assigned to an agent. Leads will be assigned to you, right? So basically, those are the basic real estate tasks that our VA are actually providing. We have VAs who can actually run a team. um, we have VAs who can actually do acquisitions call. We have VAs who actually run comps in the through the MLS and draft a contract for you. So basically, we provide a wide range of services in terms of what our VA can actually do. Again, it always go back to communication. We have SMEs in the team. So in the event that you would like your VA to acquire additional knowledge, or to utilize a certain, I would say, tool, then we can assign that VA to an SME for additional training.
Awesome.
Mm.
That's great. Yeah, like I said, it was a selfish question. I didn't realize there was so many different services. We're gonna have probably gonna have to talk after this so we can figure out how else we can help each other. And Gualter had to leave the call, but I wanted to give him credit as the master delegator. So that's why I'm co-host on this class, is because Walter and we realized we were teaching very similar content, and he asked me, he said, hey, can we do this together so that we can we can support each other. And I told you about a lot of the things that I was dealing with over the last 30 days or so, and he stepped up when I couldn't make the calls. And in the times like this when he can't be as active, that's when I can jump in. And that's the key. That's everything in a nutshell, is learning how and when to delegate, knowing your limits. I think that's the biggest part of it, is knowing where once your quality starts to dip in anything that you're doing, that's when you need to start delegating stuff. And it on the surface it seems like a daunting task, like you need to hire somebody at minimum wage for X full time. And it doesn't have to be that. You can have other solutions. You can find people that are willing to work for you for knowledge. You can find companies like RV that can support you for something that's affordable. And that's really how people are able to scale their business, because they delegate their tasks. There's no, Jeff Bezos couldn't do it himself. He couldn't go to space himself yesterday. All the big investors that we all know, all the real estate people that we know, they didn't get there by themselves. They got there because they built their own personal brand and delegated, and people are happy to join on with them because they know that there's success at the end of the rainbow. So in summary, again, Walter is the master delegator. So if that's something that your business needs or your personal life needs, just latch on to what Walter's doing, take notes, and just apply whatever sort of things that he does into your own business, and you're going to be okay. Before we jump off, I did want to see, is there any viewers, anybody on the call that wants to present something that they think they need to delegate, and maybe we can talk through what the solution might be. So Kevin, Alan, Mark, Alfred, Vincent, do you guys have anything in your business that you think you might need to delegate? Maybe we could work through it and see what the solution might be. Got any takers? Come on.
Yeah, what if I wanted somebody to do some research on properties in a certain neighborhood, or generate a property report? If I had leads come in, I didn't want to go through. I mean, I can document or work through the process to pull the information most from public record. How would that look?
So I think I'm going to direct this over to RV. RV, is that something that you
Sure.
guys can do?
Yeah, well, basically, as we help you create your SOPs, Mark. That's a very good question. So basically, during the first week or couple of weeks, it would be more about the tasks that you can delegate to your VA. Right, we'll start with the simple ones, and later on go to the complex ones. In terms of providing that training to your VA, we will actually direct you in, into the path of creating your SOPs. So in the event that you'd like to add additional VA or additional assistant, you have your SOPs all set up. So you don't have to go back from scratch, from being on a call with your VA and walking them, through the system. But you just send your SOPs, your videos, and you'll get the results after that.
And Mark, how many units do you own? Can I mind if I ask you how many units you own?
Yeah, right now I've got 5 units that I own. With most are with other investors. And I'm looking to actually purchase multifamily. These are single family homes.
Okay. So one solution, somebody from RV's team, whether they have the experience or they could learn it, that's one option. Certainly an affordable option. And another thing that comes to mind, that's very similar to my situation, owning multiple properties is, I don't want to say rare, but not everybody has multiple properties. Some newer investors have no properties. Newer investors have one, maybe two properties. So if you can, in the Alchemist group and your local real estate investor groups, there's people that want to learn from you because you've done it. You know all the problems that come with acquiring those properties. So it's not out of the question to put that out there to those people and say, hey, this is something that I'm looking to do. If you're willing to pay, maybe it's a commission-based pay. If you're looking for leads, sort of thing. So you can hire somebody like RV's team, and you can also find those people that all you have to do is teach them how to do things. And while we're on that topic, real quickly, I just want to mention, be very selective about the people that come into your life and they say that they're hungry and they want to learn, and they'll do X, Y, and Z either for free on a commission basis in exchange for knowledge. You're not going to, personally, I found out the hard way that everybody isn't created equal in that sense. And they might say that they're hungry. They might say that they want to learn. But you really need to hone in on what their goals are and how driven they really are before you start putting in too much time. But that, hopefully there's a couple of solutions in there for you for getting that task delegated, because I'm sure you're a busy guy, and filtering through leads, filtering through property data is not something that you can really spend time on and be effective. You certainly need to delegate that stuff. I'm obviously know that. That's why you brought up that question. So hopefully those, the two things I mentioned are maybe some solutions for your business. I know this is probably, we're at, closing in on a half hour. This is probably one of our shorter trainings, but it's probably one of, if not the most important topic for scaling your business. If you get to a certain point and you don't start delegating tasks, you're going to get stuck in one world where you're doing everything from A to Z. And to get to that next level, every single step is delegating a new task until you're doing, RV said this before, the things that you're good at. It's not just about delegating tasks that you don't like. It's also about delegating tasks that you're not really good at. And some people might be better at it. Some people might have more time to put into it, and that's the key. So if we don't have any more tasks that in our business that we want to talk about delegating, I'll let you guys go, and we can connect next week. Anybody else want to jump in with some tasks that they they find that they need to do, but there's just not enough time and they need to delegate it to somebody else. Anything going once, going twice?
So I got a question. Although it's less kind of business admin oriented, I'm curious if anybody has any recommendations for contractors, handymen in the Boston area.
Do you, Alan, are you a part of your local RIA, your real estate investor group?
I just moved here maybe about a month ago, so I know nobody here.
Okay. So go into, I'm personally not a member of the Boston RIA. If you have Walter's contact info, I know he is. He's definitely spoken at a few of their events. I know Black Diamond is there. When we were doing live events, they were in, I think they were in Woburn and Worcester. So if you join the Boston RIA and you join the Black Diamond Real Estate Investor Group, a lot of times they have email lists or they just have lists that they post online of the investor-friendly contractors. So if you join those groups and just start reaching out to people, if they have an email list and just put a feeler out there. I actually, tomorrow at the 7 unit that we bought, we have a roofing project, and I put it out to the Rhode Island Real Estate Investor Group. And I said, hey, looking for contractors for these specific projects. And that's actually how I found the guy who's doing the roofing project. And these contractors are invaluable because they get all or most of their business from these groups, and they treat the investors like gold. When I talked to this guy, he said, "Oh man, you're a part of the Rhode Island Real Estate Investor Group." And I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, I have no choice but to take care of you. What do you need?" And at the beginning of our conversation, he said he really didn't have any time. Once I told him I was a part of the group, he got me a quote within 24 hours, and it was 15-20% less than all the other quotes we had. So those groups are going to be extremely valuable, especially for somebody who is new to the area, doesn't have a ton of contacts. You can really just, you're basically plugging into that network. So I would join those groups and figure out, if they have some sort of mailing list that you can plug into, let them know the projects that you're working on or that you have upcoming. And I'm sure the contractors will reach out to you, and the other investors will connect you with the contractors that they use.
Fantastic. Thank you.
No problem. Anything else? Any other questions before I let you guys go?
Oh, hi, everyone. My name is Alfred Dominguez. I'm a new real estate investor in the Southern California area.
Nice. Welcome, Alfred.
Thank you. So sorry I was late. I was on another call and completely missed the beginning. But it sounds like you guys were talking about virtual assistants to run a lot of your processes. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the overall topic for tonight was delegating tasks. And, personally, I have, a lot of tasks in my business, and a big one is lead generation. Without leads, the business dies. So that's where Arby came in. Him and, his VAs that we've hired have helped us generate more leads and keep the business going while we're following up. So do you have a certain topic or a task in your business that you need to delegate?
I'll probably be lead generation or maybe cold calling. I'm trying to focus on wholesaling for now.
Perfect. Do you go to the wholesale mastermind on Mondays?
Where is that?
So GualterMRL.com. I'll put it in the chat real quick. Walter hosts all the events. He is the master at a million things, and one of them is hosting events. I sent that to Arby directly by accident. I'm going to send this to everybody. GualterMRL.com, and then click on events. So Monday nights wholesale mastermind is a big one. Arby's been a speaker on that call as well. So they're going to every week. This is buy real estate to cash flow and get rich. Every week on Mondays, they're going to teach you how to wholesale. So they'll have different speakers, and then when they don't have speakers or when the speakers are done, they're going to jump into live cold calling so that you can hear their script, hear how they handle objections, all that stuff, and learn how to apply that to your business. So if you're interested in wholesaling, I would 100% start there. Kevin Pereira, a good friend of mine, he's one of the hosts. Once you jump in, get on the chat, connect with him, set up a call. He's a really good dude, and he'll show you the ropes. He'll tell you to get started. I don't know where you're at in your business, but I know that you need a good skip tracer, you need a good list, and you need a good dialer, or
Okay.
you need RV.
Yeah,
One of the two.
I just signed up to PropStream. I haven't played with it because it just happened recently. So that's what I want to start. My strategy, I was going to just start driving around the neighborhood and looking at distressed homes, and then starting a campaign through PropStream.
Perfect.
But any resources that I can get, that'd be great. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna get a 1,000,001 resources if you attend Walter's events, especially the Wholesale Mastermind. Two things. There's in my area, there's a big wholesaler, Beth and CJ Moss. They absolutely crush it. And after speaking with them and talking to people that know them, they're very big on the driving for dollar list. So if you have the time, and you can drive for dollars and you can build lists on properties that appear to be distressed from your drive-bys, those are very, very good lists to build. They're very, very targeted. You're not personally, I use general lists, and that's one way to skin a cat. If you can focus on distressed properties, you're going to have a lot more success.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else was I gonna say?
Can you repeat the name of the team that you mentioned?
Yeah, Beth and CJ Moss Home Solutions. They're in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, which is where I'm based out of. So the other thing too is I don't know how things work in your neck of the woods, but in my MLS, I can pull lists directly from the MLS. So if you go to your local brokers, your local agents, the people that are savvy in real estate investing and stuff like that, and you tell them what you're looking to do, and just say, hey, if I find a property to flip, if I find a property to wholesale, if I find a multifamily to buy, whatever it is, I will use you. I just need something from you up front, and ask them if they can pull a list from you. So I can go into a tool in my MLS, and I can say this town, this number of bedrooms in this zip code, X, Y, Z, all this different criteria, and you can pull lists. And then you take that. Personally, I use Fiverr. Go on Fiverr, find a good skip tracer, and you send it out. It's super, super cheap. So if you get a list of 500, you're paying 5-6 cents per lead. So, roughly $30 for every 500 leads, depending on how much your skip tracer costs. So a very, very low barrier to entry. You're looking at another $100 or $150 per month for a dialer. So a very low barrier to entry compared to other businesses that require big startup costs. So talk to those local agents and see if you can get lists. Otherwise, RV, do you guys sell lists? I don't even know.
We actually don't, but we are affiliated with with Skip Tracer. That the ones that you get in Fiverr as well.
Perfect. Yeah. So if you need somebody to get a list skip trace for you, and you need somebody to generate leads that you can follow up on, RV's your guy. You can find some people on Fiverr, but I would say the absolute first place to start is a wholesale mastermind. See how they do their cold calling, and you're just going to hit the ground running.
Great. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. All right. What else we got? Anything before we head out? Going once, going twice. All right. Join us again next week, Wednesday, 6 o'clock every week. Buy real estate to cash flow rich. You're going to join us because the only reason, the only difference between rich people and poor people is how they spend your time. So I'll see you guys next week and enjoy your weekend. Take care, guys. Nice chatting with you.
Thank you.